So earnings per share, what is it? Well, it's one of the most commonly used tools for ratio analysis. It's the amount of income earned by a company expressed on a per share basis. So you may have heard this called something differently. It shows how stockholders' value in the company has changed due to the result of any current operations. And it's any net income after subtracting from any preferred dividends. Because you only want what the common shareholders can get. It's how much of the net income applies to each share of common stock only. So now there is basic EPS and diluted EPS. Basic EPS, we look at this in Intermediate Accounting 1, and then diluted, you'll actually learn how to calculate it in more details in the second semester. But at this point, it's important to understand what it is, and especially how it's presented on the income statement. So it's the income available to common shareholders divided by the weighted average common shares outstanding. The diluted, it's a similar math calculation, but it includes a what if. So the numerator and or the denominator could change due to what else could happen if there are stock options, stock warrants, if you have convertible bonds, convertible preferred stock, contingent issues could play a role. These can either increase or decrease either the numerator or the denominator of that calculation to the left for basic EPS. So the diluted just shows what could happen to earnings per share if all of these things did happen. Another way earnings per share is looked at, it's also called the return on common stockholders' equity. So this may have been how it was introduced in your accounting principles course. So how do you get weighted average as opposed to a simple average? Well, let's look at an example. Let's say in January you had 500,000 shares outstanding. Same amount through September, and then October you issued another 100. So it's the outstanding shares. So if you total that up, divide that by 12. Another way to do the math is to just take the 500,000 times 9 months plus the 600,000 times 3 months, add that together, divide it by 12. That is your weighted average. It would be different with a simple average. You don't want to just take the January numbers and the December numbers and then divide by 2. That's just a simple average. You need the weighted average. And how is it presented? Well, on the classification of the multi-step income statement, down at the bottom, you have to show earnings per share, and you have to break it out. Just as you classified income from continuing operations, discontinued segments, and extraordinary items, that too has to be shown a breakout of earnings per share. And this is for full disclosure.